Hello everyone. In today's session, we will explore the process of publishing Terraform modules on Terraform Registry. So it will facilitate module sharing and reuse in infrastructure as code projects. So these are the table of contents which we are going to learn today. So let's start. What is Terraform? It is an open source infrastructure as code software tool where you define and create resources using providers in the declarative configuration language. Example, JSON. With Terraform, you can package and reuse the code in the form of modules. It supports a number of cloud infrastructure providers such as AWS, Azure, Cloud, Google Cloud Platform, etc. What is Terraform module? So it is a set of configuration code files with structured folder architecture. So we create this module to combine resources that are used for single specific operation. So it will reduce the lines of code needed to create a related infrastructure component. What is Terraform Registry? So the Terraform Registry is a centralized repository for discovering, sharing, and distributing Terraform models. And Terraform modules are reusable components that encapsulate infrastructure configuration and can be shared across different projects. So what are the key features of Terraform Registry? Model hosting. So the Terraform Registry hosts Terraform modules, which are pre-built configuration for specific infrastructure components of services. Modules can range from simple resources to complex multi-tier applications. The user can search and discover existing modules in the Terraform registry based on the specific infrastructure need. So this makes it easy to find and reuse configuration created by the community. Version. Modules in the Terraform registry are version, allowing users to specify the particular version when the module is created in the configuration. So this will ensure that infrastructure deployments are predictable and reproducible. Documentation. So each module in the registry typically include documentation that explain how to use module. So it input variables and any specific requirements or consideration. Collaboration. So the Terraform registry facilitates collaboration by providing a centralized platform for sharing and improving Terraform configuration. So users can contribute to existing modules or publish their own modules for others to use. Provider integration. So the Terraform registry is integrated with Terraform providers, allowing users to easily reference modules and providers directly from the Terraform configuration. So what does Terraform registry contains? So the Terraform registry contains providers and modules. So if you visit the official website of Terraform registry, so here is the default page, and here you can browse for the providers as well as for modules. So here you can see the tier, which consists of three types: official, partner, and community. So as if you click on the checkbox for official, so these are the official providers of Terraform. So here you can see AWS, Amazon Web Service, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform, and Kubernetes are the official partner of Terraform. As well as you can browse for modules. So here you can see the modules, and if you click on AWS, it will only give the provider name of AWS module to create the resources. So here you can see the Terraform AWS module for IAM user to create the resource for identity access management, and Terraform AWS module for VPC. So here you can browse as per your requirement. So what are the type to publish modules? So there are two basic types, public and private. So the public Terraform modules are published on GitHub. So it have to name with a specific name and pattern as well. So let's say if you're creating a module for AWS VPC, then module have to be a name Terraform AWS VPC. So you can publish a module to Terraform registry by GitHub account. So there are some features for public Terraform modules which supports versioning, generate document, version history, show example, and available readme.md. So these are the public modules which we can use in our project to create resources. So if you check for VPC, here you need to require just copy and paste it in your editor and it will create the resources. But we need to create some configuration like the key pair name and the region which we have to specify to create the resources in that region. So the second type is private Terraform module. So it provides a way to encapsulate and share infrastructure configuration within an organization without making them publicly available on the Terraform registry. So some key aspects are visibility. So it provides access to only to the authorized user within the organization. Hosting. So private modules are hosted on version control systems such as GitHub, GitLab, and it is accessible to approved team members only. Access control. Access to the version control repository is restricted. And it also provides documentation, collaboration, and integration. So organizations using Terraform Enterprise can host and manage private modules with their Terraform Enterprise instance. And it offers security. So private modules are suitable for configuration containing sensitive information. So that should not be exposed publicly. And third type is verified module. So the verified modules are reviewed by HashiCorp and actively maintained by contributors to stay up to date and compatible with both Terraform and the respective providers. So the verified badge appears next to the module that are published by a verified source. Now let us understand the requirements for publishing the module. So the requirement for publishing the public module is to have module must have a GitHub and must be in a public repository. And this one is only the requirement for the public registry. And the name of the module repository must contain three-part name format. For example, as Terraform and the provider name. So currently we are using AWS as a provider and the name. So in this practical, we are going to create a module on EC2 instance. So our name will be Terraform AWS EC2 instance. So the provider name is AWS and the resource which we are going to create is EC2. So earlier, as I have shown the example, for example, if you have to create a VPC module, so here you can see the format. Terraform, AWS provider name, and the resource name which you are going to create. So the third requirement is to have description about the module, and the module should contain in a standard structure. For example, as you can see, this is the example. So it must contain main.tf file, provider.tf file, readme.md, variables.tf, as well as if you want license also. And the tags for releases. So the registry uses tags to identify module version. So if you click on the module called as VPC, so here you can see the version list. So you need to add a tag while publishing a module. So it will release tag name must be in a semantic version, so which can be optionally prefixed with P, for example, version 1.0.4 and 0.9. So as you can see, this is the structured example which contains main.tf. So this must exist in the root directory. In other words, the file is entry point for a module. The variables on outputs.tf file. So all variables and output should have one or more sentence description that explain their purposes. So readme.md is used to describe our project. And the provider.tf file, which will consider configuration file that will specify a cloud provider and its corresponding plugin that Terraform will use to manage the resource. Now we will publish a Terraform module in on Terraform Registry. So first, I have created one folder called as Terraform module example. And here you can see there are three files, main, provider, and variables. So currently I am using Visual Studio Code, and here you can see I have created three files, and I have taken module called as EC2 instance. So here you can, in the official website of Terraform Registry, you can browse for modules, and on the second page, here you can find the EC2 instance module. So I have just copied this and pasted it, but I have changed the key name. So here in editor, as you can see, the key name, and I have mentioned the AMI ID, which is operating machine image ID. So I am currently using Ubuntu. So here is the source, which is the path of the model, which we need to be mentioned to create a model for EC2 instance resource. So this for the main.tf file. And in provider, I have mentioned the provider name and the region where I have to create the EC2 instance resource. And profile is set to default, which will mention our access key and secret key. And in variable.tf, I have created instance type, and it is set to t2.micro. So after we create all the files, now we will create a GitHub repository for our module. So this is my GitHub repository, and you can see, click on the option of add symbol and add the new repository. Click on new repository. So specify your name, repository name. So currently I am, so the structure for name is Terraform AWS EC2. So as you can see, the Terraform, the provider name, and the resource which I want to create, which is EC2. So the description will be Terraform module example. So you can describe your own project description as per your requirement. So I have set it to public, as we need to publish the public repository, a public module on the Terraform registry, and initialize this repository with add a readme file, so which will describe your project. And you can also choose license, but currently I am not choosing. So click on the create repository, which will create the repository. So here you can see the default page of repository after creation. So now we will clone this in our folder and add the main.tf, provider.tf, and our variable.tf file here. So click on code and just copy the HTTPS URL and open the folder where you have created those Terraform files and just right click. So currently I am using git bash. You can also use the terminal for it. So just click on open git bash here. So after this, it will open the git bash. So here you need to type some commands to add the Terraform files in your folder. So in article, proper steps are given. So first, we need to clone the Git repository using the git bash. Now in registry, just copy the URL, and so as you can see, the path is D Terraform module example. So now just type git clone, which will clone our repository here. Git clone and the URL. So just paste it. I will copy the URL again and paste it here. So it will clone our repository here. So as you can see, if you list out, so here you can see the folder has been created successfully and the GitHub repository has been cloned successfully. Now we will move the main.tf, provider.tf and variable.tf file in the GitHub repository, which is Terraform AWS EC2. So simple type command move the file name which we have to move and the folder in which we have to move the file. And simply do it for provider.tf. And also for variable.tf file. Now we will enter into our GitHub repository, which we have created a clone. So as you enter, we will just confirm that if we have moved a file or not. So as you can see at the initial stage, while creating the GitHub repository, I have created a readme.md file and I have moved my Terraform files on the GitHub repository. So here you can see main.tf, provider.tf and variable.tf file. After this, we will commit the changes. So we need to just type git add space dot. So now we will commit our changes by just typing git commit -m adding Terraform files. So this is the description for our files. So as you can see, 3 files changed, which is main.tf, provider.tf and variable.tf. So we will just confirm this in our repository. So if you refresh this page, so we need to push the content. So now we will simply copy and paste to push our content. So now we will check our repository. So as you can see, the main.tf, provider.tf and variable.tf has been added in our GitHub repository successfully. So now we will create a tag for our repository. As we have seen what are the requirements to publish module on Terraform Registry, so at last you can see we need to add a tag name for our repository. So now currently I am using the version 5.50. So I need to add a tag of that version. So just paste it and it will add a tag. Now we will push the origin, push the tag. So as you can see, the new tag have been added successfully in our repository, and we will now commit our changes and add a short description for the committing our changes, which is tag version 5.5.0. So we have commit our changes successfully. So as you can see, first it was showing 0 tag. Now if we refresh this, so you can see one tag and one branch, which is main. So after this, now we will go to Terraform Registry and sign with GitHub. So here you can see the default page of Terraform Registry. Just click on sign in and sign in with GitHub. So here you can see my profile, and now you need to publish the model. So just click on publish and then click on modules and select the repository on GitHub. So just select Terraform AWS EC2 and I agree, just agree the terms and publish. Click on publish module. So here you can see our Terraform module has been published successfully. Here you can see the input, which is t2.micro, the dependencies, the version. So the version here you can see the version 5.5.0, and you can simply copy this code and you can create EC2 instance successfully. So we will check this if our resource is been creating or not. So you need to just specify the source name here in our editor. So here I have created a module.example project, and you can paste my model here and it will automatically create the EC2 resource on your AWS account. So now we will just check this. Type the Terraform commands. So here you can see it is initializing the backend and the modules. So it will download all the necessary plugins, and so as you can see Terraform has been successfully initialized. So now you need to type Terraform plan. So we will confirm that our resources are going to create or not. So as you can see, one to add. So here you can see our model has been created and working successfully. So here we will conclude for today. So publishing module to Terraform registry involves creation of well-documented model, versioning with Git tags, and using Terraform commands for authentication and publishing. So this process empowers users to share, reuse, and contribute to modular infrastructure configuration seamlessly. So for reference, you can visit the official website Terraform registry, and if you have any queries, please contact us. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more content. And feel free to leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. So see you in the next video. Thank you.